Hey there, hi, welcome to the channel. I am Garrett and thank you for spending some time with me today because in this video, we have got to talk about some interior design that is back from the past. These are things that were like completely dated. We were not thinking about, we were not looking at, but I am seeing so much more of and we've got to get into it. Now, the first thing, topic, area of design, accessory or decor that is back is the cottage kitchen decor. Now, the thing about the cottage kitchen was, you know, your grandmother had it, the little goose kitchen, and you know, like the cottage vibes. You know, the scallop trim detail on a cornice above a window and that sort of thing. Well, there's decor in that space that gives that aesthetic and vibe, and if you bring it into a space that is a little bit less detail heavy, a little more refined in terms of its color palette, you can get that timeless, classic, comfortable, cozy cottage reference. Now, what am I talking about? Because that's all a lot, but it means nothing. Wooden details like small shelves, spice racks, all of those little things are back in style. People literally thrift for them. There are people who are just making like social media content of them going to thrift stores looking for these things. They're looking for wooden shelves, the spice racks, like I said, cutting boards that have these details cut out in them. And it's usually like a little heart or a scallop trim. All of these little accessories that you can bring into a kitchen are very much in demand right now. And we're seeing so many of them come back. I will say an extension of this is also cast iron, right? Like you don't go into the store and see a bunch of cast iron sitting there anymore. People love vintage cast iron. It actually can be quite valuable sometimes. And I mean, hey, listen, I love to use like a Dutch oven. We cook in it all of the time. So I get the appeal of those things. And that's really where kitchen decor is moving right now. A lot of it is these sort of like vintage things that add a little bit of utility, right? Because a shelf or a spice rack, they're usable. We're using them, right? Even like a ceramic cookie jar, like it has cookies in it. We're using it. It is storage. Those decorative items that actually serve a purpose, 10 out of 10. Love them for decor in a kitchen, especially when they're vintage pieces like that. And I think the marketplace is going to move to an area where you're seeing a lot of those be like reproduced or refabricated to be sold new in stores because people like that look and aesthetic, but like, hey, vintage is vintage. You can only find what you can find, right? And not every thrift store is gonna have all of the amazing pieces in it. So some of those more like unicorn style pieces are going to be reissued like we literally saw earlier, I think last year for Christmas, was the Lenox Spice Village was reissued. These things, people are loving them. They're thrifting, they're hunting and sourcing for them. And we see them all of the time, especially in kitchens, to bring that warm, cozy feeling with a little bit of utility and intentional design. Plus, who doesn't love a reference that like, you know, it's like a childhood callback? Love that for you. Another design detail that I am seeing come back that I am so happy about, terrazzo and limestone floors. Terrazzo, well, limestone is like as old as time. It's literally stone. Like you see it in ancient buildings and structures. Terrazzo is a man-made material that became popular in the 1920s. And it's kind of based on like Roman concrete techniques. So it's not really anything new, but it sort of is. However, both of these are being used to add in character and personality or are used in restorations of mid-century style homes. And so when it comes to like mid-century versus contemporary, they're very different and a lot of times they use different materials, but contemporary lends itself to feeling very mid-century if you use the right materials in it to create that aesthetic. So a lot of people are looking at it, these materials being like, hey, that's actually so cool. I can do that in my space to add a contemporary or a modern flair to it. And the really great part about both limestone and terrazzo comes in like a million different colors. Like you can have it custom made, it comes in all sorts of different styles and shapes and colors, everything. But limestone is a warm toned gray flooring, or at least it can lean gray tone. So it actually is quite versatile no matter the style of space you use. And the big thing with limestone is about the pattern you lay it in, because you can do a French limestone pattern that feels a little more traditional, or you can get larger tiles, smaller tiles in a more geometric pattern to feel a little more modern. I'm not maybe going to recommend limestone as being the first and foremost thing to bring into a space because it has a texture to it. It is a porous material, but terrazzo on the other hand, I am obsessed with. Terrazzo, you can do shiny, you can do matte, you can use it on floors and showers, you can even do terrazzo countertops and slabs of stone. It's a really cool material that I am seeing so many people bring back because it can be very colorful and bold if you like a youthful, energetic, colorful space. But at the same time, you can do it in a very, very neutral way that feels, you know, like really cool instead of doing polished concrete floors, which is like, okay, but you know, I don't love polished concrete. You could do terrazzo and use those tones in it, or you can warm it up and have something that feels a little bit more welcoming, inviting, cozy. But the great thing is both of these, the resurgence of them is a return to great quality materials. And for that, I am always happy. Now, sometimes it can be hard to determine what to use in your space, what material is right or fits the style of your home or what you're going for, and you need a little bit of design advice. I have got you covered. You can always book a one-on-one virtual consultation with me by using the link in the description box down below or going to intro.co/GarrettLeChic, where we can have a call. You can show me around your home using the camera on your phone, and I can answer any and all of your design questions, whether it's about a big renovation or if you're just looking for a paint color, what style of furniture works for you, you want me to review some design plans you have coming up, I've got you covered. In fact, as soon as I'm done filming, I have a meeting with one of my favorite clients who knows who she is. Hi there. Speaking of tile details at our back, what I am seeing, and is a little shocking to me, that is back, is the accent tiled backsplash. For a while there, you know, like we were doing tiled countertops, and then we moved into slabs of stone that we really liked, and that's great. I mean, getting away from grout lines on a countertop is always a good idea in my opinion, but that's beside the point. And so it was like, hey, we're doing an accent backsplash, but a lot of times it's very style specific, it is very colorful, and so we were like, yeah, we're gonna shift away from that and just do slabs of stone for a backsplash, which always a great idea in my opinion. I love to see that, you know, eliminating all grout lines, super sleek, super clean, but sometimes the budget doesn't allow for that as far as like stone goes, because it's expensive. You're basically doubling the amount of countertops you have. And you know, it's a big commitment. It's a lot of money to spend on that. So not everybody can do that. The return to the accent backsplash is so interesting to me. Now, my problem with the tile backsplash and accent backsplash was really just that it was so style specific depending on the material you're using and the colors of it, like the glass tile backsplash. No. Just know, like, you know what I mean? That's really hard to make work long term. It's very trend driven. So you have to be careful. And right now we're seeing a lot of the Zalige tiles. That is the subway tile of right now. Okay, like that's just is what it is. It's a subway tile of right now. There's nothing wrong with that. I love a classic subway tile, but a accent tiled backsplash can be a really good thing to do in your home, especially if you already have great countertops and you're like, I can't match the stone, or you know, maybe you just don't have the budget for that and you're like, I don't care for it anyway. I don't like the look of it. Cool. An accent tile backsplash, interesting. I think you have to be thoughtful and intentional about it though, and say, what is the style of the home? What are we doing here? And then what can I add into the space that is going to look good long term? So I would choose a more neutral backsplash, something that if you're gonna go for a color is a little bit more muted and refined. If you're going to go for a neutral, it, you know, matches the tones of the countertop, the cabinetry, the things that are really difficult and expensive to change, because we want it to be long-term and we want it to look good. I would also say something that is versatile enough that you can use it in multiple different styles. If you look at this home here, it's got a mid-century flair to it, but the house itself is not mid-century. Like the furnishings in it kind of have that feeling. So using a black backsplash can be really bold and really graphic and very like, you know, wow, captivating. But if I wanted to pivot the style of this house to be Art Deco, that backsplash works. If I want it to be a moody, deep, colonial-inspired space that has a masculine feel to it, that backsplash works. There's lots of different places we can take a black and a white accent and do it design-wise. So this is something to be very intentional about and think about long and hard before you choose a backsplash. What's going to be neutral and versatile enough for you down the road if your style, you know, gravitates into something else. It's not about being neutral to sell your house down the line. It's about, hey, your style is going to evolve evolve over time. What does that mean for you, and how can you make this work long term? I'm always looking out for you, and I always want what's best for your home, because at the end of the day, design is not just about what looks good now, it's about the long term, and you have to be thinking about it. If you're doing a project, doing a renovation, you're updating your home, or you just love great design and like to see what's happening in this space, this is the place for you. You have found your home. Be sure you hit subscribe and join us. Become a part of our GarrettLeChic family. You can click the button and hit subscribe, or scan this QR code here to subscribe to our channel. And I would absolutely love to have you as a part of our GarrettLeChic family. Everyone watching right now should give this video a like and make sure their bell notifications are turned on. I would also greatly appreciate if everyone watching could give this video some hype to get it shared across the platform. Something else that is back is actually a style, a whole style. All of these decadent details are coming back, and that is Art Deco. Now, a lot of designers have been talking about Art Deco coming back for a good long while now, but I don't think they truly understand what Art Deco is. And the reason I say this is back is because the details of this style are so good, and we are moving into a place where they are becoming very relevant again. And some of the color palettes for this are super neutral, right? You have black and white and cream and ivory and rich, warm wood tones. Those are simple elements that could be incorporated into nearly any style. And I think that is the great thing about this. There are new launches from some of our favorite furniture companies that feature Art Deco styling and pieces within that space. There's a return of burl wood finishes in furniture making that you see every major furniture company, whether it is at the higher end or mid-level, lower end, are featuring these details. And I could not be happier because I love this style, and it has such a history in terms of what interior design is and where it comes from. Now, this is a great style, not necessarily to say like, we're gonna do everything in this and make it a whole theme, right? But saying we're gonna take details and elements of this and incorporate them into our space. That could be through accessories, it can be through accent chairs, console tables, even artwork in itself. I mean, obviously, like, you know, I've got my little like Arte statue behind me. I love Art Deco. I love Art Deco artwork specifically, as I'm a huge fan of it. But the really interesting thing is you can take Art Deco and combine it with other styles. So if you have something that's more traditional, colonial, Georgian, you can easily incorporate Art Deco pieces. Are you kidding me? It literally is like the sister style. Put them in there. But also you can do this to add a refined finish and element to mid-century style, even like atomic mid-century, that like Palm Springs vibe. You can add Art Deco pieces into to establish that link and make it feel just a little bit more elevated in that way. And I think that's the incredible thing here. You're not gonna see a lot of Art Deco kitchens, but you might see a return in Art Deco wallpapers and patterns that are graphic and geometric in their styling. Love that. There's also a lot of artwork that is done in an Art Deco style. Love, 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 love. Cannot say enough good things about Art Deco, and I'm so glad that I am seeing a lot of those references return back into the design space because they've been gone for too long. Too many people have been talking about it, but have no clue what it is. A lot of people think it's like 80s Miami Deco. That has its own place. It's not bad, it just has its own place, but Art Deco in itself, love, very elevated, gorgeous, sophisticated, and those elements can bring a really refined sensibility to any style and any home. Another detail that is back, I never thought I would say this, never, 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 ever, but I have seen so much of this in the last 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, whatever. The color orange. Honey, orange is back. All right, back with a vengeance. And I am just seeing so many orange details in spaces, and I think it's really interesting. This is a big return to warm tones and colors. For too long, it's been sage green and gray and cream and just, you know, like these sort of like neutral, soft colors in spaces. Orange is poppy, it's saturated, it's vibrant, and it brings energy into a space. And that's what I find to be the most interesting. And I see this mostly in, you know, soft furnishings, pillows, throw blankets, even upholstery on accent chairs. You see a lot of orange in a lot of interior design. You actually see this. And it's a color that is very underrated. It's not one of my personal favorite colors. So I don't really bring a lot of it into my home because I like more blue. You know, those blue and cream is sort of like my thing. And I really appreciate that with like pops of green in the space, love. Okay, that just feels natural to me, but for some people, orange is just a go-to. It's a really great color. If you want something that has a little bit of energy to it, a bright, poppy, saturated orange tone is gonna be your friend. And I think that is really great. It's a wonderful color to bring into a space to infuse some energy into it. You can even do orange as an accent in a space. Now, I wouldn't do an orange accent wall, but you know, if you said, this is a space that's a little set off to the side by itself, orange could be an interesting wall color for it. And it's also a little bit of a return back to like almost a Tuscan kind of a vibe and feeling where these spaces are really like moody and deeper colors that are more saturated. Orange could be one to go for. Now, I would not do like a shocking bright orange on the wall, but something that's a little more muted and refined. Like a pumpkin, love that. Stunning. Great. That combined with a lot of the other details that are back in style and back on trend has so much potential, so much potential. And I report on the facts. I report on what I see. Okay, so if you don't like orange, don't shoot the messenger. Honey, I'm just here to report the news. Okay, darling? So this is a tone that I am definitely seeing coming back. There's also a return to a lot of warmer wood tones happening right now, even with a honey or a golden oak. These things are coming back in and they have a little bit of that tone to them. So it can be a really great way to really just create a lot of warmth and a lot of character in a space. Don't write it off. And I know what you're thinking, Garrett, some of these things are not actually gonna happen and you're just saying that to say it. Ha! Joke's on you. Check out this video right here from nearly a year ago, all about some of my predictions on trends that are coming back. And guess what? Once again, I was right. Be sure you check it out and I will see you over there.